Hello, everybody. I'm going to wait just a few minutes since I just clicked on the go live button. Let's see what this does. Oh, there we go. And see if we have any live um, listeners with me today. Um, Really excited to do this live stream. I'm going to start doing more of them. Just the other day, I just felt really inspired to share about this topic of healing and lightening up the heart space. Why? Because I myself have had to go really deep this last week in kind of mining in my own heart space and seeing where I had some different kind of sticky things that we're going to talk a little bit about today. But I love this platform, just being able to go live whenever. Um, as I go along, I'm going to try and schedule these out a little bit. It was just like Thursday when I just felt inspired to try scheduling one for the first time. So whether we have no people live or a bunch of people live, it's all good because this will be available later once I'm done. I think that's how this works. So I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes to see if we have anyone else that wants to join us live. I will answer any questions, even live, or if you go back later and you're watching this and you want to dialogue. I'm here on Facebook to dialogue with you and help expand our consciousness together. It's definitely a together process, definitely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So these last couple of weeks, some of you may have had some common threads of just feeling a lot of intense emotion or maybe just constricted in some way and you couldn't really figure out why. I've not only with my own kind of evolution this last couple of weeks, but in seeing clients, I kept seeing similar threads, not only with people that I've been working with, but out in life. Run into people and they were just weighted down and feeling emotionally charged, or the wounds were really coming to the surface. And so it really made me take a inventory with myself and see where where that was going on with me and how I could go deeper to heal it. And I'll tell you, for those of you that are really into this energetic part of who we are, the energetic dimension, um, you know, following the moon cycles is really powerful for our emotional kind of circles that we go in. And a lot of times they'll come up, as we get near the full moon and such, and then go out later on. Or vice versa. Sometimes I've had them come up at the new moon, different cycles. They tend to kind of rise. So I would definitely invite you, if you're one of these highly sensitive people that like to follow or track, or even if you're not and you just, take a journal or notes and kind of note your trends, your cycles, your thought patterns that happen over time, and you'll see there's some common threads with the moon cycles. It's really powerful. So anyway, kind of why I was talking about the moon cycles is this last full moon is when it was like a big switcheroo. It just came really intensely up within my heart space and was able to see where within myself where I was holding on to something that was so old and really not aware of it. And really, when it comes to the heart, why I felt so inspired to really talk about the heart today is the heart is that center of our being. It's that place where emotionally we can belong. We feel belong, whether to ourselves or to others. And really, in a lot of respects, that's almost the same thing. Our ability to feel an appreciation for our own self, as well as feeling that we belong emotionally and our emotions matter in situations, is really, it's a huge thing. And our heart is that space. We talk about sometimes in the chakra terminologies, our root chakra is more about physical belonging and tribal, but our heart, we forget our heart is just huge in how we connect with ourselves and others, and how we feel, not only just that deep level of acceptance that we need to function and live a wholehearted life. And this last couple of weeks, one of the threads that I saw, with myself and with so many people, is just feeling clogged. There's a sense of clogging in the heart space, and not understanding what's going on in there. All it takes is getting ourselves to calm down. Hey Carla, I just saw that you joined. Glad to have you in the talk today. But that calmness, we need the calm. Find a calm place. And what I found in dealing with the heart, especially, is really going to breath work, really going to focusing on our breath. It's so important, because our physical heart and our lungs are all kind of interconnected in that circulatory system. So to heal our heart, whether physically, emotionally, all of those things, it's important to breathe in the life force and illuminate. Also, when we don't breathe, we constrict ourselves of the life force, and our heart shrivels, that our energetic heart shrivels and shrinks. And part of the thing that's really important in this energy, and always, is to remember that in order to live authentically and to live a wholehearted, we've got to open our hearts. We've got to live an expanded version of ourselves, and it all starts at the center point in this heart space. Hello, Stacy. Just saw you joined. So the main things that I felt so inspired to talk about today is the concept of really expanding consciously your heart, because it really is as simple as just consciously opening up every day, opening up, remembering that no matter what situation greets us in life, we have a choice to stay constricted in old patterns, or breathe and feel the pain or whatever it is that is arising within us, and expand into that. That's one of the things last week that I really got clarity on, with some really old patterns with myself, was the concept of really moving into the pain of whatever is arising, and then allowing yourself, instead of, when most of us, when we feel that pain, I think it's human nature to want to contract and just shrivel, close. But instead, we can choose in that moment to consciously connect with the heart and expand. And what I've found is the pain actually goes away or minimizes quicker when you expand into the feeling than contract into it, because when you contract into it, you hold on, and then your body holds on. And so there's no better way that I've found to play with practicing keeping our hearts, your heart, open in any situation, is to expand into the discomfort instead of contract into it. And this week, last week, a couple weeks, some of the folks that I've had come into my life that have been really awesome examples for this. One of the biggest things I've seen is holding on to past relationships, and we do that in our heart space. Let's say, for example, you have someone that comes into your life that is literally a mirror of an old program for you. And an example that I've seen in the last couple weeks was someone who had a friend and they felt obligated to help this person. Um, it was just this extreme sense of obligation to help this person. And the person wasn't all that willing to help their own selves in the situation. So it was just a giving and a giving and a giving and a giving. And before too long, that heart chord, I call them etheric chords because you can see when you do intuitive work or when you tap into the energetic space, that energy flowing. And with this person, that energy was just draining, 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 draining. And they felt emotionally drained, physically drained. And one thing I was able to help with them, and I think a lot of us do this in different situations, whether it's with a person or a situation, could be our job or family members or friends that we haven't learned healthy boundaries with. So in those moments, it's important when we're ready to go in and do the work and see what keeps constricting and draining our power and our light, our authentic, true light within us, is to sit, calm, and breathe, and let ourselves be attuned to the pain that's there. If we don't allow ourselves to attune to it, how are we ever going to know what's going on in our heart space? So in this particular example, I invited the person to feel in. We identified the relationship that this drain kept happening. And in that moment, we looked at the dynamic of the relationship, and we were able to, in looking at it, help this person make a conscious choice to take their power back and bring it back into their heart center. And hey, Trish, just saw you joined. Glad to have you on here. So we helped this person bring their energy back into their heart space, and also visualized giving back to the other person their energy, so that there was a clear boundary there. And even though that was energetic, it all starts through that energetic conscious decision to take your own power back in a situation. And when you do that, the core dissolves. There's a lot of ways to work with those energetic attachments and things, but it's as simple as making a conscious choice to bring your own energy back so that you can be whole and you can act from that place of wholeness and authenticity. It's when we give our power away and let others drain our energy, or sometimes we end up pulling energy from other people because we feel weak and we feel from some wound in our heart somewhere that we need in order to belong. We just keep pulling, and all it takes is to breathe into those moments and really let ourselves feel that exchange. Our heart is such an amazing vessel, physically and energetically. Everything that's going on pulses through the frequency of our heartbeat. And so if we just take stillness during our day, during meditation, to really connect into our heart and feel where the tugs and the suck and tug and pulls and all those things are, if we can really honestly look at those, they're not bad, they're not good, they just are what they are. And in honestly looking at them, it doesn't matter if they're our children, friends, loved ones, whatever they may be. When we give ourselves away, when we let others just drain our energy, then we're no longer authentic. we're no longer being true to ourselves. And for so many of us on this planet, especially the highly sensitive ones who feel so deeply, it can be difficult because you're looking, and oftentimes we're looking for acceptance, in our relationships. I know that's been a big one in my life that I've had to work on, is realizing that I just need to accept myself. And in accepting my own self, then that heart healing can happen. And there's no longer a need to let others drain you or be a drain to others. Um, so back to that, just really simple. This is so simple. We sometimes overlook and go to all these healers and get all these opinions and get readings and all these kind of things, which can be very helpful. But on another level, if we just take the time within ourselves to listen to the incoming and outgoing feeling, check in for pulls and pushes and tugs, and address those one at a time, gosh, we can really free ourselves up. And it can be little itty-bitty things to start, and then before too long they go whew, and our whole energy is, drained in a relationship or a work scenario or vice versa. So in this particular scenario, we may not have a complete healing in that moment, but a lot of times it's just the awareness of where we're draining or pulling from the heart in situations or to others. And so it's creating that conscious awareness. And from that conscious awareness, you can then build your strength, your inner grit to actually consciously choose in the moments to not give your power away or to not pull on someone because you need acceptance or vice versa. So these couple of weeks, I invite you to really take a look if you're still feeling some of that intense heart or feeling a heaviness somewhere in your heart. I invite you now just to take a minute and close your eyes and feel into that heart space. Feel into your beautiful heart space. And ask yourself, is there a person or situation in my life that I am feeling drained, physically drained, or that I may be pulling on in right now? And just feel into that space, be totally honest with yourself, and invite yourself that no matter what you're feeling, it's all okay. But until you allow yourself to look at it with truth, you cannot change it. And just take a couple of nice deep breaths, inhales and exhales. For those of you on here today that love working with the angels, I invite you to call upon, and we'll invite Archangel Michael, who's a wonderful angel to support heart healing and taking your power back in your life. Also, Archangel Raphael to support this healing today and to help you find that deep thread in your heart space so that you can heal, you can live an empowered life now. We'll take another nice deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. And now that you've come to some realization, whatever that realization is, I invite you to, in this situation, imagine that energy of this other person or situation at your heart center, and to take it, even physically, take your hands and just, blessed one, I'm giving you back all of what I have taken or all that I have allowed myself in that is not whole at this time. I give you back you, and I take me back into me. And just feel that exchange happen. Feel that deepening happen right now. Feel that part of you that was pushed away somewhere in time. Feel it back into your heart space. That fragment. And take another nice deep breath. Deep, and exhale. And I invite you to do this process on, you may have several. Maybe you want to go back and watch this again. You may have several areas in your life where that energy is spread all over the place. And in order to come back to center, come back to that authentic place where you can choose from a whole perspective, that those need to be resolved within yourself now. And this energy, I know many of you that are on here are so sensitive, that you've had these experiences these last couple of weeks on some level where, oh gosh, there's been some weight on your heart. You may have even noticed that you kind of tend to jump out away from the heart space into fear. But this is a time to embrace all of that. Just embrace it. And let yourself feel. It's safe to feel in your heart. Many of us learned very early on that because we didn't feel that acknowledgement from others around us who didn't have the same level of sensitivity at the time, that we then took on a belief that the feelings in our heart were not valid. And this is the time, this is the energy to step into your next best, awesome part of yourself, to take that back, take your power back, bring it back into your center. This is one of the most important things that we can do right now. And if you're watching this, then you've had, some common thread. Hello, Shannon. I'm so glad that you joined us. So take this awareness back into your life, and really, if you can just in a few moments in the morning when you wake up or before you go to bed, resolve these heart conflicts and bring them back to your 0 point, that stillness, then you will be able to do some wonderful transformative work and step into that next level of you now. And it's really that simple. We're in this energy of, we stepped into the Cancer month, and that is such a powerful heart month. So many astrological things going on to support us listening and moving through into our greatest evolution of ourselves. So remember that process of listening to your heart, giving back to the other person and taking back what's yours so that you can resolve and both be whole, and bless both for all of that, because we wouldn't exchange energies or feel the need to connect with someone like that, someone else on a fear-based level, if we knew better. And this is how we do the work. We go in, we see that we're not feeling really good about ourselves, and so we need some external relationship or thing to feel, make that feeling, which is not a real whole feeling. It's an external based one. So one of the things that we're going to do in just a moment, I'm going to share with you a Kundalini Yoga meditation. It's called Meditation for a Calm Heart. It's very simple. And anytime that you get into one of these scenarios in your life and you start to feel overwhelmed, or even what's even better is to actually use this as a daily practice to help you kind of build that ability to connect with that 0 point in your heart. in the yogic technology, we often say 40 days breaks a habit. So if you could do this meditation for 40 days or for an extended length of time, starting with just 3 minutes. It starts with 3 minutes. You can build it to 15 and up to 31 if you wish, but 3 minutes has a pretty significant effect. 15 is really powerful. And so you could use it whenever a situation arises, or just as a daily practice to build your ability to claim your 0 point in life. That space is so sacred. It's the foundation of which we're able to go out and live, um, and connect with others in wholeness and not in our wounds and not through our wounds. And this is what the planet needs more than ever, and it all starts with us. So one other thing just to remind you of is that concept of expansion versus contraction. I have felt so strongly that if we can just feel and get connected with how we expand and contract in situations, and in those situations where we have a tendency to contract and shrink our heart space, we start acknowledging, oh, I'm contracting now. And instead say it's okay to feel this pain, but I know if I expand into it and open up, that it's going to be better. I'm not going to stop. Take it on into my body. I'm going to expand it, greet it as it is, and move through it. And watch what happens if you do this. I've been practicing it, and it's very, very powerful. So, to wrap up today, we're going to do this meditation for the calm heart. With Kundalini Yoga, we always tune in. It's called the Adi mantra. It's Om Namo, Gurudev Namo. It simply means, and it's simply an intention to, in turning that radio dial of our energetic frequency to that of the golden chain of the inner wisdom within, those that have been doing this Kundalini Yoga practice for hundreds, if not thousands of years, that allows us to be a part of that wisdom. And Om is a sound of the infinite. So when we say Om, Namo, we're bowing to that infinite within us and letting go of the external stuff. And then the Gurudev Namo is that teacher within. We're bowing to the teacher within. So I think it's so beautiful. And if you have ever done Kundalini Yoga, this is something that the more that you chant this mantra, it becomes literally like you tune the radio dial and you tune right into this wisdom and technology. So I'm going to take a nice deep breath. If you want to just listen along, or I invite you to chant it along with me. Also, we look at the third eye point, just gently roll our eyes up to our third eye point. So I'm going to do that. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale. And I'll take another one. And exhale. And on the third one, I'm going to begin. Om Namo, Gurudev Namo, 3 times on 3 separate breaths. Om Namo, Gurudev Namo. Om Namo, Gurudev Namo. Om Namo, Gurudev Namo. Nice big inhale. Hold that breath for just a moment. And exhale. Feel how the energy shifted. Kundalini Yoga is the yoga of awareness. It invites us to really connect with the changes that happen within us and around us. So to do this meditation, it's very simple. We take our left hand and we're going to put it on our heart, our high heart. It's really over the pranic center of our lungs. I'll put it right there. The fingers point to the right. So left hand over the pranic center with the fingers pointing to the right. And then our right hand, we're going to do Gyan Mudra, which is index finger to thumb, and the other three fingers point straight up, and just the elbows just kind of relax to the side. And this is, again, this is really simple. We don't have to do any particular drishti or eye position. You just can close your eyes gently, and we're going to breathe deeply. So we're going to inhale, suspend the breath as long as we can, and then exhale. Hold the breath out as long as we can, and just continue that process. Inhale, hold the breath as long as you can, and exhale. Hold the breath out as long as you can. And what this does is it creates that stillness, that 0 point at the heart center for us to be able to more easily access our whole self in any situation. So this is a great practice to empower ourselves and build that strength, or if we're in a situation that we may need this immediately to kind of help us get us back there. So we're going to do this together for 3 minutes. So again, if you just joined, left hand on the high chest, fingers pointing to the right, right hand in Gyan Mudra. So this is the mudra of accessing your potential, the wisdom potential, and that stillness within, the knowledge potential. And then those other three fingers point up. And just close your eyes and access your ability to go deep, deep belly breath all the way up into filling your chest cavity, and then exhale and bring your belly back and hold it out. So inhale, hold as long as you can, exhale, hold as long as you can, and continue. Here we go. I'm going to close my eyes and we'll do this together. About one more minute. All right, whenever you're ready, take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Then inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. So we finish that up with those three: inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Then relax the posture and just take a moment to notice the shift that's happened within you. Notice if you can feel that 0 point, a stillness beginning in your heart. Doing this for longer, if you get up towards 15 minutes, it gets really powerful. So I invite you to utilize this meditation whenever you need to. And actually, I'm going to put a link to it in the comments here, to where if you wanted to read through it yourself, you could do that. It's very powerful for this whole topic today of healing and lightening up our hearts and being in our own truth in our heart space. It's really that simple. It just takes some conscious awareness and practice at being right there in our heart space. Many blessings to all of you. Thank you to all those that were here with me today. This was kind of my first live one with seeing people on here, so that's exciting. There's going to be more down the road. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you all again soon. Lots of love.